Back with us now, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, you're with Senate Judiciary. It's great to see you. Tell us about your reaction to the testimony from Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkis today.
We were really surprised that he was so unprepared. You know, he had to put the hearing off when he had COVID, so he had plenty of time to prepare, and he came before us today just really unprepared for facts and figures, and didn't seem to understand that illegal immigration at the southern border is at an all-time high. Wanted to challenge those numbers. So we found him to be very incomplete in his presentation. So, Elizabeth, there will be a lot of questions submitted for the record for his written response.
We hear you loud and clear. The secretary admitted to a, quote, historic high of illegal border crossings, said the system is, quote, fundamentally broken under Biden. We've got 164,000 illegal immigrants apprehended in October, the highest October in the history of Homeland Security.
Ever.
And he said of the 1.7 million apprehended last fiscal year, 375,000 were let into the U.S. interior. That's on top of 400,000 gotaways. What do you say to that?
Well, what we know is there is an incompleteness in those numbers. I asked him for the total number of NTAs, notice to appear, and notice for removal, which is, you know, right around that 300,000 number. But then you have the 1.7 million they've apprehended. What about the balance there? What about the estimated 1.5 million gotaways? These are all people that are in the country, and we do not know who they are.
We heard there were 1.5 million gotaways. We heard there were 400,000.
When you talk with some of the Border Patrol agents, they think that a 400,000 for the year is a very low number, that there are many, many more gotaways than what are being reported. So when you look at this, then you say, okay, you all are still using the number of 11 million illegal immigrants in the country in total. Now, that was a 2005 number. Look at what has happened since then. So,
yeah, MIT says
number?
It's 22 million. MIT says now it's 22 million.
That's right.
Let's watch what happened between Senator Ted Cruz and Secretary Mayorkis, to your point that he didn't have answers to basic questions. Watch this.
In the past year, has Joe Biden been down to see firsthand the Biden cages?
Senator, I will again...
Has Joe Biden been down to see this facility? Yes or no?
The president has not been down to the...
Okay, no. How many murderers have you released?
I'm not aware of any murderers whom...
How many rapists have you released?
I'm not aware of any rapists whom...
How many child molesters have you released?
I am not aware of any child molesters whom we have released.
How many women have been sexually assaulted being trafficked into this country in 2021?
Senator, I have no ability to determine how many...
Okay, you don't know, so you didn't try to find out?
...have been sexually assaulted in Mexico along the migratory...
All right, how about this? How many children have been sexually assaulted by traffickers or other people when they were coming in illegally?
I do not have that data.
Okay, so you don't know that either.
Team, let's show the data. There's nearly 11,000 illegals caught who are convicted criminals. They were convicted of homicide, assault, rape, domestic violence, burglary, drug, and human trafficking. But now the Biden administration has weakened the border more. You know, Senator Lankford pointed this out, that now they are, told to show up to ICE, not even to a court date. They have to report to an ICE officer, and they're not even doing that. And Senator Lankford found DHS notices given to illegals, quote, don't worry, if you don't show up, you will not be taken into custody. Is that true? Those notices are going out?
We are hearing those notices. Senator Lankford has brought this forward. And bear in mind, what they are trying to do is make it easy for people to illegally enter this country and then get handouts and benefits, and they're making it hard on the American people who are legal citizens to deal with the issues of jobs and inflation, and they're making it very difficult on people who have chosen to immigrate legally to the United States, because, Elizabeth, they end up going to the back of the line with Biden's border policy.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, it's great to have you on again. Come back soon. It's good to see you.
Good to be with you.
Same here.